Hello, welcome again. A week ago today, I was fortunate enough to interview Mike Johnson, the superintendent of our school district. Mike, welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
You know, you're back by popular demand.
I am, yeah, by one, right?
No, I don't know about that, but
Well, I just appreciate every opportunity to connect with our community and especially to communicate about our schools and the fine job that our staffs are doing
good,
in the district.
good. Well,
Yeah.
again, thank you so much for being here today. And I want to welcome, you haven't seen this person, and some of you don't know her. She is the new principal at our Creslane Elementary School. This is Amy Halley. Amy,
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We have some questions for you today. We have a bunch of parents and students that go to Creslane and their parents wanting to know things. I've noticed, Mike and I talked about it last week. When we look at the website of the school, right there's a letter that says our job is a little bit different than before. With all this going on, we want to connect. We want to connect. Then we want to show that we care and we want the students to learn. I just would like to know, what are you hearing what does connect mean to one of the elementary school students?
Good question. Well, connecting is just continuing to be in contact. So our teachers schedule 1 or 2 virtual classrooms a week with their class where they're going online and doing fun, engaging activities. They're not, doing any instruction, but they're playing scavenger hunts and trivia games. Yesterday we had a YouTube star make a guest appearance with our 4th graders. So teachers are taking this opportunity just to keep that class climate going and connecting kids not only with themselves but also with each other. And then connections also means that we're reaching out to our families to find out what ways we can support them. Maybe even it's just a lending ear to hear what's happening in their lives and how can we support, can we connect them with resources in the community, and making sure that they know that we have things available to help them out.
Are you hearing any special little anecdotes of ways that teachers are connecting with kids?
Oh gosh, well, they're getting really creative. They're being as flexible as possible, reaching out at different hours of the day, trying to find engaging activities to make sure that the kids are interested and able to get online. We're creating packets for families who don't have the option to be online to be able to still give them some supplemental and educational material to work on at home.
Yeah.
Our counselor has been connecting with kids and still engaging in that relationship and providing teachers with resources as well.
Cool. I could retire now. I'm old as a hill, but I remember so vividly my elementary school teachers. I remember Miss Biggers, my 1st grade teacher. Those are such special moments because I believe that those elementary teachers are extra special to the students, because for many students that's the first person that really connects strong outside mom and dad and their brothers and sisters, maybe grandma and grandpa, but it's that elementary school teacher. I just wonder, as you look at your teachers and how they're doing, how are they reacting to not getting that, I don't mean hands-on like that, but that intimate kind of connection that they have with these students? How are they dealing with this loss?
It's been really tough on them emotionally. We didn't get into this profession to be sitting at home staring at a screen.
Yeah.
We got into this profession to have an impact on kids, and our teachers haven't been necessarily trained to instruct this way. And in such a short amount of time, we've been able to train our teachers and sort of reevaluate how we do business, and it's been good for us as a staff. We've really bonded and our collaboration has skyrocketed because we've really relied on each other more than ever. But it's been tough. It's not what we want, but we're making the best of it. And we have a number of people who are nearing the end of their career, and it's hard for them to be going out like this. This is not what they wanted.
I guess this is your first year as the principal at Creslane, just as Mike's first year as our superintendent. We sure do know how to make it not a boring year for you, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that we would have ever guessed this would have happened, nor could have predicted it. It's been wild, but I feel fortunate to be here in Cresswell. going through this, because we have a really strong team of teachers and staff who are just super bonded, as well as the community. We felt such support from our community. Our parents have been very gracious with us and very supportive, so it makes this hard work all worth it, knowing that we're just all working together.
Cool. Well, just in normal daily kind of things, I get to touch base with some of the teachers occasionally, and I got to tell you, I'm sure you know this, but they feel so supported by you. It's just amazing that they know you care about them as teachers. I didn't necessarily tell you I was going to ask you this, but were you a teacher for a long time, or have you always been a school administrator?
No, this is my second official year as an administrator. 2 years before that, I've been a classroom techer. I've been a specialist supporting teachers, instructional coach. So, yeah, this is
cool,
newish for me too.
well, I think you're doing a phenomenally good job.
Well,
I want to ask: are there ways that our community can support either the kids or you that we're not doing right now, or is there any other way that you can think of?
Oh boy, I think just if everyone continues to be gracious with us and knowing that we're trying to work out these kinks as we go. We're in uncharted waters, and we're kind of we're figuring it out as we go. And so if folks could continue to be supportive, just even in their words of encouragement, and realizing that if we do mess up, it's unintentional, that we're just doing our best. And I think the biggest support from the community is going to be coming in the months and years to come, that we don't know what it's going to look like when we do come back to school, and families are going to need support and in ways that maybe they wouldn't have under different circumstances.
If any of you guys have your students that through Google Classroom are able to watch any of the reading videos, we have our IRC volunteers that we're a part of, and they use this same set to read the books to the children. I got to tell you, we really appreciate both of you for letting us still stay a little bit involved with the kids, because man, we miss those kids. So this has been phenomenal, just to let us stay involved that way.
Of course, we don't want those relationships to end either, and I know that the relationship for IRC with the kids is just as important for them as it is for the kids. And I think our students, there's no way for me to know exactly how many kids are watching those videos, but they are being put out, and the feedback I've gotten from parents is they enjoy seeing those friendly faces.
Good. And what we've told our volunteers is, just as you said, we don't know what reality is going to look like when all this gets cranked back up, but there's a chance that these videos will be used years ahead of now. I mean, we don't know. So there's no telling what's going to happen. We've learned last week when I was talking to Mike that the students are engaging and learning in a digital format. And again, you talked about that a little bit through these through being online. How has your curriculum changed?
Oh gosh, well, we've needed to be creative. We're using, it's called universal design. It's kind of the methodology, and it's where you create lessons that can hopefully reach the majority of students, that we're not able to differentiate instruction like we would under normal circumstances. And so our teachers are also thinking about what are opportunities that we could guide and lead our students to do activities that might not necessarily even be with paper, pencil, and on a screen. What are things that they could do in their house, whether it be in the community or whatnot, that will engage them academically. So it's taken a lot of creativity, because the instruction they would be providing in the classroom can't be replicated in this platform.
Right.
We need the people to be together. So,
well, is this happening? She's so focused on the elementary school. Do you see this, Mike? Is this kind of thing in an attempt to still connect with the kids? Is this happening at the middle school and the high school, as far as you're aware?
Absolutely, 100%. In fact, there are some situations where students are not engaging with the classroom teacher at the secondary level, and then we have teachers going out to the homes of those children and saying, or our students, and saying, hey, we're missing you. You're not getting on board with us, and we've noticed now the last 3 class meetings you haven't checked in with us. So we're checking in with you.
Yeah.
The principals have gone out, and assistant principals to homes as well, to check in on kids and say, hey, you know what, we're there for you. We need you to get on board with us and get into the class and start getting some work done. We want you to continue to learn and work at it. Amy mentioned earlier that we're improving. You know, we didn't come into this really prepared for where we're at right now.
Yeah.
But the staff has I mean, the wheels are off. And they have gone into this like nothing that I ever expected to see. And they're really doing this to be with the kids. I think you talked earlier about connecting and where we're at and how teachers were trained to teach and now having to go over to this different system of engaging and teaching kids. And no, this isn't what we prefer, but given the alternative, I mean, when we were not able to connect with kids for the 2 weeks through spring break, that was the worst time, I think, of this whole closure. Because when we did finally launch online and teachers were connecting with kids and bring them into their Zoom classrooms, it was a major breakthrough for us, and I know a relief for the teachers because now they were connecting, they were back into their relationships with the kids to continue on with them.
Yeah.
That was a big move for us, and I think a big motivator to get the classrooms going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I mean, as much as it was a steep learning curve in 24 hours time, we rebuilt a school system, like our teachers got the green light and they took it and ran with it, which was wonderful. And I had several teachers comment to me that, it was kind of a good opportunity for them just to reinvent themselves too and to really look at their practice and, spice it up a little bit. As much as it wasn't maybe the circumstances we were hoping, there are a lot of positive things that are coming from this situation.
Well, I know you mentioned earlier about the school psychologist, the counselor. I know that as an adult, I'm concerned. I have a son that's 10th grader, and then a daughter that is a freshman in college, and I keep being concerned about not just their physical wellness, but their emotional wellness. What are you hearing about the children's emotional wellness these days?
Well, I'm a mom, and I know I have it in my living room as well. It's tough. They miss their friends, they miss their routine, they miss the things that they know they could depend on. So part of that connection, I think, is to help, reassure students that all these people are still here for you, and we're going to be here for you. Our counselor is working alongside the teachers, so teachers are, letting her know if there's some kids that have maybe dropped off and aren't as engaged, or if they're getting reports of a need. And, we're trying to be as responsive as we can because we want to remove as many barriers as possible. The academics are important, but our first priority is just staying in relationship with our kids.
Good. One of the things that I showed you recently that we do here at the Hub now is the food for kids that we get to do every weekend. And I had a parent that was coming to pick up their food. They have a 2nd grade student, and they said, our student's doing more work now than he did when he went to school over at Creslane, when he went to the building. I thought that was interesting to hear. I guess you're hearing that kind of thing across the board.
Well, yeah, I mean, the tables have turned. We're having to partner with our parents to help extend that instructional piece, and parents are a huge part of the instruction, especially in those primary grades where the kids are not as independent.
Right.
All of our students have had to learn how to be online, which wasn't something that we necessarily did in all of our classrooms.
Right,
and so now our kids are learning skills, in the moment alongside their parents.
Yes.
And so I think that parents are getting a good glimpse of where their kids are academically and helping, and the collaboration amongst our parents and our teachers has just grown. It's been wonderful to hear and see.
I think one I think a highlight of this whole pandemic and the school closure is that we're modeling resiliency for our kids. I don't think they often see that. And I know in the last couple of generations, resiliency has been something that we've been trying to teach kids, but they really, you know, we kind of hold their hands through it. But in this one, they're really actually seeing us against the odds, really breaking down some barriers to make this thing work out. And they're a part of it. They're not just seeing it.
Yeah.
They're participating in it with us. And but I think in the end, when we come out of this, they're going to have some resiliency instilled in them from this experience.
I think you're right. As we conclude today, again, I want to thank both of you so much for coming. It's a pleasure to get to talk to you, and an honor that you take time out of your busy schedules to come and talk. I appreciate it, and I know that everybody watching really appreciates it. As I look at TV and I see what's happening around our country, I do see that some of the big school districts are just giving up. They can't reach their kids, and they're just calling a halt to school. We'll start again in the fall. And I got to tell you, as a parent and as a community member, thank you guys, both of you, for what you're doing. You're not giving up. You're like broadening. And so it's not just reading, writing, and arithmetic, as we would say from my childhood, but it's such a broader education that you're providing them. So I got to say thank you. Do you have anything you'd like to say in conclusion, Mike?
You know, I just, with our leadership, our district leadership, the folks that are in positions that have really taken this on their shoulders to get it to the classroom, to the point of classroom instruction, that we don't hear a lot about them, but Donna Tyler and Joel Higdon and our principals, Amy Aguero, our SPED director, I mean, these are really phenomenal leaders that have made this thing come to life.
Good.
And you know, this was an extremely heavy lift.
Sure.
But man, I'll tell you what, I know who I want to be in the trenches with.
Yeah.
And then our teachers have just taken this thing and brought it to the kids.
Cool.
They have just made that connection. There was one other thing that I would like Amy to describe, though, because I think it's really one of these creative, innovative methods or strategies that has been effective with kids and teachers as well, is that they have found a way online to have a classroom setting and then a small group setting simultaneously, so that kids can get into small groups with an EA while the teacher is instructing. And I kind of wanted to have her describe that, because that's really an essential piece of supporting our students that need that
Could
small
you do
group
that?
stuff.
Sure. Not much. You kind of said most of it, but yeah, the online platforms that we're using are Google Classroom is our primary. Our kindergarten classes are using Seesaw, and then for some cases we're using Zoom. And in the Zoom platform, you can do breakout rooms, and the teachers have the controls to be able to push kids into different breakout rooms, and then EAs are joining so that they can have a small group to actually discuss the work or ask questions or really meet their needs, especially for our struggling learners who this situation just compounds the situation for them. And it's, again, I think along with like the IRC read, books that are being read, all of those opportunities are just helping kids see those trusted adults every day and having that connection with them. That academics are really important and critical, but our EAs also really want to connect. Our entire staff, they're just jumping to every opportunity they can to connect with our kids. And when we go online and see their faces, it's the best part of our week.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I know that all those EAs, the educational assistants, I know they all appreciate getting to be a part too, because they are so committed to those kids. I love it.
They are. They are.
When you see those school buses around town, give them a big wave. Those bus drivers, they deserve it, but they also need that support too.
Awesome. Again, thank you both so much for being here. You take care, and I will talk to you tomorrow.